Hey everyone, it's Dan, your brother Barbaris. Okay, I started up my DC and my MDT server. There were three things that I neglected to do yesterday, which I'm going to do now, and that was I forgot to set up the monitoring on the deployment share. I did it on the capture share, but didn't check the box on the deployment share. I forgot to add the Microsoft Teams folder in the deployment area. I noticed that I skipped over that when I was reviewing the video this morning. And then I forgot to unmount the DVD from the MDT server. So that's all right. We're going to do those things. And then we're going to, before we get into the nitty gritty of adding the applications, I'm going to create a snapshot of our I'll shut it down, create a snapshot, and that way we can roll back in case anything bad happens. And this is a good practice with VMs is, let's say you're going to install a patch and you don't know what the patch is going to do. You can shut it down. I like to shut it down, just my opinion. You can do it while it's live, but it takes a lot longer. Shut it down, take a snapshot, install the patch, and if anything goes wrong, like a rollback or a you know a blue screen, whatever happens, you can roll it back to the snapshot area. Okay, and those are good to have if you've never used snapshots. Okay, so first things first, let's open up our deployment workbench. I'm going to right click, click settings. I'm going to unmount that DVD drive. Okay. And then I'm going to go in here to the deployment share, click properties, click on monitoring, and enable monitoring. Click apply. Okay. So we did that. We unmounted the DVD. And now our next thing we're going to do is under applications, right click, new folder, and Microsoft Teams, which we didn't add yesterday, and now it's, oh no, it's not in alphabetical order. That's okay. We're going to figure this out, right? Okay, so what I've done is under my MDT folder, I sort folders. I have a script that Sinistrality provided, and I'll show you that on the GitHub. So GitHub slash .com slash sinistrality slash sort dash MDT dash driver dash folders. Now, this doesn't just sort drivers. It'll sort application groups. It'll sort whatever folders you want it to. And that's what I've done to it is I've changed it from the driver folders to the application group folders. So I'm going to close this. I've downloaded the PowerShell script into a folder. And I right click and edit with Notepad. And what I've done is I've changed these two areas. I've changed this to /application groups.xml instead of driver groups. And then the export, I want it to place it on the desktop so I can just cut and paste it where I want it. Okay, so I've done that. So let's show you how that works. So I'm going to go into the share since I've already got it here. MDT, sort folders, copy. I'm going to paste that in my deployment area, the E drive. I'm going to go to my deployment drive, deployment share, control. I'm going to copy this application groups XML to this folder. Now what I'm going to do is I can actually right click, click PowerShell, open here as administrator. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to set our execution policy for any scripts in the future. Okay. And that way we don't have to worry about it. Set execution policy unrestricted. There we go. Then we say sort .ps1. There we go. And it's now on the desktop. Okay. Cut. I'm going to go to deployment share, control, paste it there, replace. And now if I open up my deployment workbench, you'll see Microsoft Teams is now in alphabetical order. And you can do that with operating systems. You can do that with out-of-box drivers, whichever you want. Okay? So we've got that all set. Those three things are now fixed. And what I'm going to do to create my snapshot is I'm going to right-click and I'm going to shut down my MDT server. There we go. I'm going to right-click, snapshot, take snapshot. I'm going to call this before task sequence. Okay. And now and then if I right click and go to Snapshot Manager, you see I have that before task sequence. And you can have as many as you want in here. And you can roll back to them. You can clone them. You can delete whichever. And that's fine. Okay. So I just like to do that every once in a while to make sure everything is good and I can roll back to it. Okay. Now, applications for capture. We're going to go through a lot of this while that's doing that in the background. So I'm going to go to the capture share. I'm going to applications. Now, we've got a lot of applications here that we're going to be installing into our captured image and a lot more into our deployed image. But let's start here and with .NET Frameworks. So .NET Framework 4.8, and what I would suggest is you create a DNF 4.8 folder, and I'll show you my notes for each of these pieces of software, okay? So, to download .NET 4.8, which is only going to go on Server 2019, because Server 2022, Windows 10 and Windows 11 already have .NET Framework 4.8 installed, okay? So, we're only interested in this file, and even with this file, when you download, this will go directly to it. When you download this executable, it contains the x86, x64, and all other OSs from Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 8.1, Server 2012, I mean, all of them, okay? We're only interested in one thing. We're interested in this cab file. Now, if you don't want to grab the executable, you can actually grab the cab file directly. You can say catalog.update.microsoft.com, that cab KB number, and you can look in here and look, here's Windows Server 2019, download, and you can grab that directly, okay? If you don't want to download the whole thing. But since we did, I'm going to show you how we do this. So here is the executable. You right click, 7-zip, extract files, and when you open up the extracted files, you'll notice it has all these cab files in it, okay? And we're only interested in that 6153x64, which is right here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that into my folder, and this will actually save on time because it's only going to install what it needs. It doesn't have to search through all those files, okay? So in my notes, I show you, you can either install it this way, but I like to use the cab file. This will be our install command in MDT, wscript.exe / or hidebat vbs /b /no logo. You remember my hidebat vbs one line from the last video, okay? And this is going to open up a batch file in a hidden window, so you don't even see it on the screen, which is great. Now in my install bat for this, I'm going to execute a PowerShell with a Windows style hidden, but execution policy set to bypass, no profile, not interactive, and the file name, which is right here. And it's just going to do a dism command, dism.exe /online /add-package /package path. And because I told you, remember in your applications, the folder name for this application, DNF48, there's our cab file, no restart, and quiet, okay? There we go. And remember, this is only for Server 2019, so No worries there. All right. So that's that folder. Now, 5.0, DNF 5.0. Okay. And there's three files we're going to get here, and I'll show you how we get those. Go here to .net.microsoft.com/en-us/download/.net/5.0. Okay. And the newest one is 5.0.17. We're not going to worry about the SDK. What we're worried about here is three files. We're going to get the ASP.NET Core Runtime, Windows, x64. Go down here to Desktop Runtime, x64 for Windows, and the .NET Runtime 5017. And we'll go down x64 for Windows. So it's going to look, these three files you're going to download. Okay? You're going to place those in this folder. And then in our install bat, all we're going to do is we're going to have the %, tilde's over by your 1 key to the left of it, dp0, and then the name of the file. Make sure these are in quotes, okay? /install/quiet/no restart. I'm just going to do that for all three of those. Remember, we're going to just use the hide bat VBS in our deployment share, okay? And now let's go to 6.0, which is, if we just go here and we type 6.0, it'll go to the new one, okay? And the newest version of that is 6.06. You're going to do the same thing. So x64 ASP.NET Core, Desktop Runtime, x64, and Windows x64.NET Runtime, okay? And same thing, notes. It's going to download those three files. You're going to create a batch file with those three names. It's going to have the same thing, /install/quiet/no restart. Okay? Real simple. And of course, you can take screenshots as we're going through this. And remember that hide bat VBS is always going to be the same. And we're always going to call it install.bat, whatever command we put in there. Okay? Applications. So there's our .NET frameworks. CM Trace tool. Remember, we did this in our last video so that we could use CM Trace in our deployment share. And we did that with the config manager tools. And remember, it installed it to this folder. So I'm going to open up that folder. Right? I'm going to grab that CM Trace file. I'm going to place it in this folder. And then in our install bat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a directory called C Windows CCM. I'm going to copy that CM Trace file from where it's at next to the batch file into that folder and overwrite if it exists. Then I'm going to do a PowerShell of this cmtrace.ps1. And what this is going to do is I remember showing you this in the last video, and I can't remember where I got it, but if you want to take a screenshot of this so you can type these commands, what this does is it allows cmtrace to be the default for all logs on the system. Okay, and that's only needed when you're deploying it. Okay, good. Let's go to the next one, DirectX. Now, DirectX isn't just for games. There are certain applications that were written back in the day, graphic-intensive applications, that still require this runtime. So the newest DirectX 9.0c runtime is from June 2010. You're going to click Download. It's going to download this DirectX June Redist folder. I'm going to right-click. I'm going to extract it. And then I'm going to copy all the files that are in it into this folder. And this one is very easy to install. It's just dx.setup.exe/silent. Okay? So that'll be that one. Let's go to DoD certificates. We're not going to worry about this folder right now. I have this because it's from my old secure host baseline. We're going to look at install root. So if you go and you just type install root, you'll see the first one is public.cyber.mil and the Nipper 64-bit installer. Now, Nipper means, let's see, sorry, non-secure internet protocol, and then super is secret, right? So there we go. I think that's right. And grab the Nipper 5.1 64-bit installer, and you're good there. This one's pretty easy to install as well, but I'll show you what we're going to do. So we're going to install it first from its current location, /qn/quiet/no restart with MSI exec, because it's an MSI. We're going to remove the desktop shortcut because I don't want it on there. Then I'm going to install the DoD certificates from it with the command line tool built in, and then I'm at the ECA certificates silently. Okay, and we're gonna, of course, hide that with our hide bat when we get in there. All right, good. Then Microsoft Edge. Okay, so Edge for Business. Download Microsoft Edge for Business. And what you're going to do is go down here and you're going to grab the 64-bit version, which is the newest one, 103.1264.49. And you'll probably want to grab this policy because we're going to use that later as well. And I'll show you that later when we get into policies, which is right here, policy definitions. So while we're there, grab that policy file because I have a whole collection of all the policies that we're going to need for our secure images and group policies. Okay, so the first one is the Windows or Microsoft Security Compliance Toolkit, which you can get here, Microsoft.com/enus download. That's 55319. Download that. You're going to see we're going to grab all of these, okay? And the one you're going to grab is this Windows 10 security baseline zip file, which is here. And when you go inside there, you're going to see templates. We're interested in the ADMX files and the ENUS folder, which contains the ADML files, okay? Only the ENUS for us, but if you have a different language, that's what you're going to use, okay? Then, Active Client has its own templates, which are on a GitHub, okay? So, let me show you that, where I'm at, so you can copy that. You can grab these, each one, or you can download the entire this old secure host baseline and download this as a zip and then just extract those policy templates. Okay, so collection is in here. I've got all of those in there, and then the administrative templates for Microsoft 365 and Office 2019, those are all at this location here. You download those, and it comes in this admin templates right here, and you can extract those into a folder, and it's the same thing. ADMX, you'll notice all the ADMX files, and then you're just going to grab the ENUS. Okay, where we're placing those is I have a policy defs folder and a policy definitions folder, and I placed all of the ones we're going to need in here. So both my collection is all the files I'm downloading. Okay, then here, Adobe Acrobat and the Adobe Acrobat Reader DC. I'm using the DC templates, but you can download both and place them in there. Google Chrome for Enterprise. Now, when you download Google Chrome, which we're going to download eventually anyway, download Google Chrome, you can click Bundle instead of just MSI, and you download it, and what it does is it gives you this bundle, you extract it, and the installer goes here, okay, which we're only interested in this one, and then in the configuration ADMX file, you'll see all these languages, just grab this, and for us in the US, ENUS, cut and paste that into that policy defs folder that I showed you earlier. Remember I told you to grab the policies for Edge. You're going to do the same thing there. And Edge policy templates, you extract those, and then you're going to go Windows, ADMX, same thing. Grab your language and those 3 ADMX files, okay? Firefox has its own GitHub, and I had the 3.10 templates yesterday, but here's the funny thing. Yesterday, a new one was released, Policy Templates version 4.0, so I downloaded that this morning, and that's, let's see, Policy Templates 4.0 this morning, and I extracted those and grabbed the newest version of Firefox templates, so that's good. So I can call this version 4.0 instead in my notes. Then OneDrive. When you install OneDrive from this location here, then you go to Local App Data, Microsoft, OneDrive, and then the build number, and then ADM, and you'll see the policy definitions in there, okay? The Microsoft Desktop Optimization Pack group policy templates, which are for BitLocker and other things like that, you're going to download those from here. Same thing. You're just going to place them in your collection, right-click, extract files, and you'll go in there just like this, the ADMX templates, right? You can see everything. And what we're interested in is the MPAM 2.5 SP1, which is this one here. Okay, and there they are. BitLocker Management, ENUS, copy those. Your sound is a pound. Now, if you do have a CAT card, you'll have access to software.forge.mil/sf/go/release 3968. I'm not going to go to that site, but if you have access, you can grab the net banner, the news net banner, and its policy definitions as well. Okay? And I placed all of those into one folder. As you can see, I've got everything here from Access down to Word, Net Banner, MS Edge, Chrome, Google, Firefox, everything's there. Okay? And then there's our ADMX files are in here. Okay? And all I'm doing there in my install bat is I'm copying them into the C Windows policy definitions folder, and that way when I open up my local group policy editor, I can edit those policies. Okay, so that one's good. Let's go to applications again. PowerShell 7. Now we got this in the last video, but I didn't show you the install command that they show on the page, and I'm going to use that, and because it's much easier than having to use something like Orca to find out what switches I can use. So here's the newest version, and you go down here a little bit on the page, and you'll see there's install the MS package from the command line, and it tells you what the Add Explorer context menu PowerShell, Add File context menu, enable PS remoting, register manifest. So I copy this entire command here. And if you want to add logs, you can, which is /L asterisk for V for verbose, and then you tell it where you want the logs. Now I'm going to remove that because I don't need them for my capture share. Okay, good. There's PowerShell, and there's our MSI. Okay, and let's go back here to Remote Server Administration Tools. So in order to do this, you're going to want to get your, if you have a volume license key for Windows, you're going to want to get that newest, I think it's the 1909 or 2004 FOD ISO on your volume license area. And all you're going to do is extract the first ISO packages folder into one folder. Okay, and just call this folder RSAT when we import it, And all that's going to do, I'll show you my my batch file is just going to uh, use the PowerShell there, and I'll show you what that's at. So when I edit PowerShell, it's going to say get Windows capability dash name rsat and a asterisk / online. I'm going to pipe it through add Windows capability online source. The source is going to be the rsat packages folder, which is going to be here, and then the open SSH I'm going to also add. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Those are the two commands I'm going to use to install the remote server administration tools. All right. Remove evaluation. Now, I showed you how to remove the evaluation from servers, right? It's just one command, and then you have a server restart after this in the task sequence. But for our clients, it's a little bit more involved, and I'll show you that. Okay. So the first thing you're going to want to do is have a machine that's already running Enterprise, not an evaluation version, a full version. And there's a SKU folder, and you can copy the folder Enterprise from that SKU folder, which is in the Windows directory, System32, SPP, Tokens, SKUs, Enterprise. Okay. Now, currently, of course, on our evaluation version, it's just called Enterprise Eval, but you're going to want to grab the Enterprise version from a running machine. So we're going to copy that here. We're going to say if it doesn't exist on that machine, copy the or make the directory Enterprise and copy the files from it to there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to change some things in the registry. Now, remember I showed you that Windows 10 and Windows 11 still say, even Windows 11 still says Windows 10. So in the HK local machine software Microsoft Windows NT current version, the composition edition is going to change to Enterprise instead of Enterprise Eval. Same thing with edition ID. And this is going to say Windows 10 Enterprise and no more evaluation. Okay, we're changing that with the registry. And then we're going to use the System License Manager VB script to remove the licensing, uninstall the product key, set to KMS. Here's our KMS key, install product key, boom. And remember, the Windows 10 and Windows 11 share a product key for KMS, right? Enterprise does. Then we're going to remove that Enterprise Eval folder before we go. All right, so that's what's going to happen in our remove eval. You can pause and go over that whole thing. Now, reset image state. So I'm going to show you something. On Johan's post on deployment research, I'll show you. If I go to, I think it was Windows 11, building his reference image, he had a thing where you needed to block internet access here. But if you notice, my name's on here on the tip, and I commented about a solution that he wasn't aware of, removing the need for blocking internet. This also will fix a whole host of other issues when you're capturing an image, because a lot of the times you'll install a patch or you install a piece of software, and for some reason the image state will go to a finalized or something like that. So what I do is, and I'll show you in the comments where I commented on that down here. You can see my picture here. I told him all you do is change the registry at this area, and then you can replace the state INI file, and then you can update all your apps, you can update software, whatever you want to do. So hit the state INI file. I'm going to show you what it looks like in Notepad. Okay, and this is all it looks like. State image state equals image underscore state underscore generalize underscore reseal to out of box experience, just like that. Okay, and then our registry key we're going to change is at HKey local machine software Microsoft Windows current version setup state, and you're going to place the same exact thing. Image state equals image state generalized reseal to out of box experience. And in our batch file, we're going to import that registry key, and we're going to copy that state NIF file and override the one that's in Windows setup state. Okay, and that's it. We're going to do that before our sysprep when we start to capture the images. and we're going to do that in all six of our captured tasks, and we shouldn't have any issues with the capture going through. Okay, I showed you how to get the Visual C++ runtimes yesterday in the video, so of course we're just going to use the HideBat VBS to install those. And so that's pretty much it for our capture software. So we're going to go in here to our MDT server, Control to insert. You don't have to right click and click Control delete there. Okay, so we're going to start that up. I'm going to go to our deployment workbench. And what we're going to do is I'm going to copy these one by one into onto the desktop and then import them, because for some reason sometimes a VMware workstation doesn't like files that are over a certain size, and that's okay. We're going to go to Capture Share, Applications, .NET Frameworks. Oop, what just happened? There we go. Okay. Right click, copy. I want to paste this here. And we'll be copying these, but then we'll be removing them after we do our thing with them, because they'll be imported into our share. Okay, so now we've already got our folders set up for our capture share. So I'm going to close the deployment share, go to our capture share, applications, .NET Frameworks. Okay, and I'm going to go in here, and remember I already have these named for what I wanted to call them. Okay, so I'm going to say new application, application with source files, publisher. Now remember, we took our notes on our software, right? So what I'm going to do is, I believe, let's see, where did I keep that? Was it in, sorry for that. Let's see, where did I keep my, it could be an application packaging, software information. There we go. So I made sure I had all the information for all the software that I was going to install in here. And the first one we're going to do is our, remember, .NET 4.8. Okay, so if you look here, I'm going to be importing this folder, and in our notes, the command I'm going to use to install this, because I'm using the hide VBS, is this one here. Okay, so DNF. So I'm going to say Microsoft Corporation. I like to make sure these are all set correctly, right? Application name, Microsoft.NET Framework 4.8 x64, and the version is 4.8.03.928.0. The English is ENUS, just like that. Source directory, let me go over here, 4.8 DNF 4.8. Next, DNF 4.8. Command line, wscript.exe, hide vbs/b/no logo. Next, finish. Then I'm going to go up here, properties, and we're going to have to do this, of course, because it likes to fill in data, right? So I'm just going to have it to about right there. And then this one, DNF 4.8. Okay? And okay. Now remember, we're not going to really be seeing these as it's deploying, so it's not that big of a deal, but I like to make sure everything is laid out correctly. Okay? And 5.0, same thing. It's going to be the command. It's going to be the same thing. Okay? So copy, and what we'll do is we'll go down here to, here's our 5.7, new application with source files. It's going to be Microsoft Corp. Okay, and this is going to be same thing, .NET Framework, or actually we can call this Microsoft.NET Runtime 5.0.17 x64, just like that. Okay, 5.0.17.31213 again US. Okay, source directory DNF50, just like that. Command line is going to be the same thing, hide bat. Next, properties, all the way to about right there, DNF50, okay. All right, and the next one, 6.0, new application with source files, Microsoft Corporation, application name, Microsoft.NET Runtime -6.0.6 x64. Version is 6.0.6.31317 EN/US. Source directory, same thing, 6 DNF60. Command line, same thing, wscript.exe hide bat vbs/b/now logo. Copy. Properties. Go here. Remove that version number. And short name DNF60. Okay, so that's how it's going to look. And we can delete this folder now. Right? Yay, we got our first one done. Now let's go to the CM Trace tool. Okay, and we're going to copy this to the desktop. All right, and I think I have, let's see, here it is, right there. Okay, so I'm going to say new application, application with source files, and this is also Microsoft Corporation. Application name is Configuration Manager Trace Log Tool, CM Trace. Version is 5.0.9049 1000 EN/US. Source directory is CM Trace. I'm just going to call this CM Trace as well. Short name. Okay, and what's our log? It's our hide bat. Same thing. So we go in here. Notes. Same thing. Command. That's why you keep notes, so you can have that at the ready, right? Right click, properties. Let's go right here, and then change the short name to CM Trace. Enter, and we're good there. Empty recycle bin. Let's go to DirectX. Now remember, this DirectX is pretty simple to install, and it's only like it's a /silent, I believe, so we're not going to be worried. There it is right there. I have it in my notes. Okay, so I'll just go here, new application, application with source files, Microsoft Corporation, and this is going to be Microsoft DirectX End User Runtime June 2010 4.9.0.904 EN/US. Browse to the folder on the desktop. I'm going to just call that DirectX. Okay, and then simple setup. Don't even have to worry about much, right? dxsetup.exe/silent. That's it. Finish. Right click, properties. And there we go. Short name, DirectX. And delete that. Good there. Okay. And let's see, what's our next one? We go to, keep closing that. I need to stop closing that. Okay, so now with DoD certificates, install root. There we go. The application with source files, and we'll go down here where we have our information for, let me do a search, install root. There it is. Okay. Good. And because we're actually going to be doing a install with removing desktop icon and things like that, we'll set that up. Okay. So if I go up here, let's see, there we go. Okay, so we're all set there, and we're going to say publisher is DODPKE, install root 5.5 ENUS, source directory, install root, just like that. And our command line will, for right now, I'm just going to say, we'll just do that wscript.exe / hide bat.vbs / b / no logo, just like that. Okay. Next. Properties. Just like that. And then install root. We're good. Okay. Empty. Okay. And then now the next one is edge. Okay. And what we'll do is we'll do a search. Edge. There it is. Okay. Just like this. Application with source files, Microsoft Corporation, application name, Microsoft Edge, version 103, 1.0, 1264.44. We saw that on the website when we downloaded it. Go here to, oh, we got to copy that to the desktop, of course. Yep. Copy. Paste. There we go. Next. We'll just call this edge. And then our command is here. msiexec.exe / I, and then the name of the MSI / qn / quiet / no restart. Next. Next. There we go. Properties. Edge. Apply. Delete that. Let's go back over here. Now we got our policy definitions, and we're only going to want this policy def file. There we go. Same thing is our install bat, so we're going to use the W script, right? So there we go. Policy defs, new application. And we're going to just say various publishers, right? Policy definitions, ADMX, just like that. Version, not worry about that. ENUS. Policy defs. Next, I'll just call this ADMX. And then we're going to say wscript.exe hide bat.vbs b / no logo. Okay, just like that. Properties. Go. And delete that. Next one. PowerShell 7. I'm going to copy a few of these to the desktop just for a moment. This one, I hope copies because it's pretty large, and I know sometimes, there we go. Okay, good. I'll give that a moment. So search PowerShell. There we go. Remember we had that command we were going to use right there. There goes the RSAT tools. Took it a moment, didn't it? Some of the small files take a lot longer than the big files, so I don't think it's going to take 30 seconds or even a minute, but it, it shows that. Okay, keep going. You got it. Almost there. Okay. Then these three I should be able to just copy. Hopefully they're not too big. We'll see. There we go. Okay, so we're good there. And that way I can stop closing this and things. Okay, so PowerShell 7, right? So remember I had the command in there, which was right here. Let me copy that. Boom. And we'll go to new application, application with source files, Microsoft Corporation, application name, PowerShell 7 x64, version is 7.2.5.0, ENUS, source directory, PowerShell 7, that. Command line, I just copied and pasted from there. Next. Properties. There we go. And there we go. Okay, so delete that one. Next is our remote server administration tools, which is here. And all we're going to do is, this is going to be a hide bat one as well. So, new application, source files, Microsoft Corporation, remote server administration, administration tools, ENUS, browse, RSAT. Next, should call that RSAT as well. Remember we had wscript.exe, hidebat.vbs, b, no logo. Alright. That'll take a while to copy, but that's alright. We're everything's coming together now. Make sure you keep good notes. That way you can add your software and your version numbers and everything. I like to make sure it's all up to date. It makes everybody happy. Makes your ISO happy, your ISMs happy, your IT managers, your CIOs. Everybody says, "Oh, good. We know what version's in there. We know what the install commands are. We know everything." So they like to know that it's not a Chinese corporation that's stealing your data. All right, so right click, properties. I'm going to go to here, and same thing, RSAT. Boom. Okay, and we can remove that RSAT folder. And now remove evaluation. This is going to be the same thing. So we're going to go here, new application. Not really worried about publisher. we're just going to call this remove evaluation. And EN-US, of course, is language. Boom, remove eval. That, wscript.exe, hide bat.bbs, b, no logo. Next. Let me look at my .NET frameworks here real quick. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I was just checking something. And then properties, remove eval. Okay. And then our reset image state. Okay. It's the same thing. It's a hide bat. So new application with source files. Just reset image state. EN-US. We're not going to see this, so it doesn't really matter, but that's okay. Reset image state. Good. I'm going to call that image state reset. Command line. wscript.exe. Hide bat bbs. B. No logo. Okay. Properties. Image state reset. Copy. There we go. Okay. And we can remove these. And our last one, Visual C++ runtimes, right? And it's also going to be a here. So we're going to go all the way up here to the top to our C++ runtimes, just because we're going to set this so it's Microsoft Corporation. We're going to just call these Microsoft Visual C++ redistributables. Okay, we're going to say version 2010 or 8 through 2022 EN-US. Okay, and we can do if we want. We can say x86 and x64 if you'd like. Okay, that way you know you have all of them. Good. And wscript.exe, hide bat, bbs, b, no logo. Next, and done. Properties. Go here. Copy and paste. There we go. Okay, so I've got all of our software in there. Okay, sorry that took so long, but that's how it works, right? So now I can close this, and I'm going to go to our prereqs folder, and I'm going to go to our capture share, and I have our capture all set up here for Windows 10. Here's Windows 11, Server 2019, Server 2022. Okay, so we'll start with our Windows 10. Excuse me one moment. Let me just make sure this isn't my wife. She's at her mother's house right now with for her birthday, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so task sequence, right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new folder. We're going to call this clients, and we're going to new one. We're going to call servers. Finish that. I'm going to copy these, and we'll also add them to our deployment share. Okay, close that. That's fine. Now that we're here, clients. Now remember, we're not going to see those applications during our task sequence because I'm going to add them in there. So you can see skip applications equals yes. So don't worry about the layout and whatnot if you're that worried about it. Okay. So new task sequence. Win ent or win10 ent x64 Windows 10 Enterprise x64. Okay. Next, standard client task sequence. Good. Select it. Do not specify product key. I'll just say user and lab is fine. Don't set the administrator password because we're going to do that during our task. Okay. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the Windows 11 one, but we're going to be copying most of the Windows 10 one, and then we'll change a few things in it. Okay, so Windows 11 Enterprise x64, same thing, standard client task sequence. Next, Windows 11 Enterprise. Good. Do not specify key. User lab. No password. Next, and we're good there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start adding to our task sequence. Let me close this window so I have unrestricted look at initializations first, pre-install, install, and post-install. Okay, I'm just going to open it up like that. Now the first thing I'm going to do is, remember I told you about those extra folders I have? These are completely not needed. It's just something I like to do to make it look flashy. And all I've done is in my extras folder, which I think I put it in both our capture share and our, there we go, Windows System 32, is I have BG info so that during the task sequence it will load information about my machine that I'm deploying to. It's not that big of a deal, but if you'd like to do it, you can just do that. Extra files, Windows System 32, add, the BG info there, and then a BGI file that you create, and then you can set it up so that it will always be the X drive during that. Extras files will always load as the X drive when you include it in your properties, Windows PE x64. See this extra directory that we added? That will be the X drive. Okay, so just so you know. And so I'm going to start by adding that BG info, and I'm going to call this display system information. I'm going to go run command line, display system information. I'm going to copy my command for my BG info. I'm going to click options, continue on error, apply, and I'm going to move this above my gather. Okay, and then after gather local only, I'm going to say display host name, run command line, continue on error, just like that, and command line, apply. Okay, so now that's all set. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. Now underneath this, we're going to set the high performance power mode, which is this command here. Okay, same thing, continue on error, apply, and that's all set. Now, we're going to set the active profile to high performance. When we deploy our machine, we'll have high performance, but then at the end of that, we'll set it to balanced again, just as a normalization in your environments. Okay. Now, because this is our capture task, I'm going to go here to enable BitLocker, click options and disable that because we're not going to enable BitLocker, of course. Inject drivers, I'm going to say nothing. And apply patches, I'm going to say nothing. Okay? And then right here where it says apply patches under post install, I'm also going to select nothing. Okay? Click apply. The reason we do that is because, remember, this is a capture task. We don't want any additional drivers. We don't want any additional packages. You can do that later in your deployment task, but your capture task, you want to be clean, right? Okay. So now we're going to go to the state restore, which is right here. We're going to set that high performance after the gather local only again because it restarts the machine, right? And I've noticed that sometimes when it restarts, it'll reset it to balanced. So you can just right click and copy that set high performance power mode, and under gather local, press paste, and there you go. Okay, so it's the same command. Now we're going to disable driver searching underneath this opt-in to CIP. Okay, run command line, disable driver searching, and it's going to be this command here, cmd.exe/c reg add, and this registry key we're going to set. Okay, now we're going to, of course, after the deployment, we'll reset that to true, but right now we're disabling that. Okay, now underneath that, we're going to click install, add general, install application, and this is continue on air, properties, install a single application, and this is where we're going to use our remove evaluation. Select that, click OK and apply. We're going to call that remove evaluation. Okay, that's where it's at. We're going to restart after that, so click add general, and then right here, restart computer. Okay, boom, there it is. Then we're going to install the certificates. So general, install application, install a single application, DoD certificates, install root. Okay, we'll just say install certificates, apply, and I like to click on continue on air, of course. Good. Now we're going to sync the time with the server. Okay, so if you look in our, well, you can't look at yours, but I'll just tell you what I'm going to do. In my MDT, I have a time batch file, but I'm just going to grab the command from here. Okay, and the command, we're going to say general, run command line, continue on error, sync the time with the server. Okay, I'm going to say cmd.exe/c net time //mdt01/set/y, and that will make sure that the time on our deployed server matches the one on our MDT server. Okay, that's good. There it is. Sync the time with the server. Now there's been a CVE that came out, a 0-day that came out, and it's a remote code execution vulnerability, and I have been placing it into our capture and deploy task as well to make sure that we are mitigated against that. And I also placed that here in the it's just one command, okay, and you're just removing this HKey classes root MSDT. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click general, run command line. I'm going to say continue on error, and I'm going to call this CVE-2022-30190. And I would suggest you mitigate your security problems in your deployments as well, so that you don't have to do it after the fact. Okay, so that's just a little tip from me. There's that one there. Okay, now enable roles. Okay, so we're going to enable .NET Framework. So we're going to go down to roles, install roles and features. I'm going to call this enable .NET Framework 3.5. And I'm just going to check that first one because this is Windows 10. Windows 10 and Windows 11 share the same feature set. So click on that, click apply. You can continue on error if you'd like. That's fine. And boom, enable .NET Framework 3.5. Now we're going to install our Visual C++ runtimes. So add general, install applications, install Visual C++ redistributables. That, install a single application. There we go. Apply, continue on error. Okay, then 5.0, because remember, Windows 10 and Windows 11 already have 4.8, right? So add, install application, continue on air, install a single application. We're going to go up here to .NET Frameworks 5.0. We're going to call this install .NET Framework 5.0. Apply. Okay. And then I can copy this and paste it because I'm just going to change a little bit of the text, right? So I'm going to say 6.0 and then browse and 6.0. There we go. Just like that. Install PowerShell. So do this. Install application. PowerShell 7. Continue on air. We'll call that install PowerShell 7. Make sure that has a capital S. I like that. Okay. Then we're going to disable, because this is part of the STIGs, we're going to go to Roles, uninstall Roles and Features, and we're going to disable PowerShell 2.0. Okay. So down at the bottom, a little bit further down, we're going to see PowerShell 2.0 and the PowerShell 2.0 engine. Click Apply, continue on air, and there we go, disable PowerShell 2.0. Now we're going to install the CM Trace tool, add, install application, continue on air, properties, single application, CM Trace, say install CM Trace, good, like that. Add our policy definitions, file, install application, single application, policy definitions. Options, continue on air. There we go. DirectX 90C. Continue on air. DirectX. There we go. Apply. Okay. Our RSAT tools. So we could go General, install application, single application, remote server administration tools, apply, install RSAT tools, or RSAT, that's fine, because it's called remote server administration tools. We don't have to say tools, right? Okay, restart the computer. There we go. Then after the install applications, which of course we're going to enable our Windows Update later when we have our WSUS implementation, but after the install applications, we're going to restart the machine. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll suspend the task sequence if we wanted to. I'm not going to, but you can, to make any changes you want to do. I usually put this in here and disable the step just so I have it in there in case I want to do something during that task sequence. And that's cscript script root /lti suspend.wsf, and that's built into our deployment task. Okay, there's that. And after that, I also restart the computer. Okay, good, because that way I don't know what I'm going to be doing here, but I don't want to have to manually restart. I'll let it do its thing. Okay, now we have a cleanup. Remember, in the last video we added some scripts to our custom folder, right? Now in my clean.batch file, it is stop the Windows Update service and the background intelligent transfer service. I clean up the software distribution folder. Then I restart those services, and then I remove anything in the local temp app data of the administrator, so that cleans up all the things that we're using, and then I start Deployment Buddy's action script. Okay, so we'll do that. We're going to go to this. Like I said, this is under custom tasks. So see this one here. So I'm going to go add. I'm going to go run command line. I'm going to say clean up. That's my script. Okay, so I'm going to say wscript.exe, and I'm going to say script root custom clean.bat, or actually, sorry, hide bat.bbs, because I'm using my own, right? B, no logo. Continue on error. Okay, that does that one. And now the next one after this is our Deployment Buddies script, which is here. C script cleanup. I'm going to actually just call that Deployment Buddy script. That's okay. You can call it whatever you want, but I'm going to give credit where credit is due, right? Okay, there we go. Deployment Buddy script. Reset our image state. Remember, I told you about that. So install application, single application, reset our image state. Okay, that'll do the generalize before our sysprep. And I'll just say that. Reset image state. Now, by default, BitLocker sets itself to AES 128, and the STIG settings would like AES 256. So that's what we're going to do. It's just one registry key. So I'm going to call this run command line. I'm going to say BitLocker to XTS AES 256. I'm going to copy this command. Okay, encryption method /t regword /d7/force, right? Okay, and continue on error. There's that. And then after that, I'm going to have it restart, because if you remember Deployment Buddy's script, she has a restart before and a restart after. So we're going to do that as well. All right. And this second restart, of course, after our Windows post update, we can do that. We can move this down if we'd like, right? So I'll move this down to underneath the post applications. And that's fine. You can do that. And then disable the enable BitLocker, because this is our capture task. So disable this step, click apply. And then we're going to re-enable our driver searching right underneath that, okay? So run command line, and we're going to say re-enable driver searching, and reset that registry key that we set above to disable it. All right? And there we go. That's our Windows 10 capture task. And now that we've got that, I'm going to show you how we're going to copy that and change it a little bit for our Windows 11. Okay, so go to Capture Share, Control, Windows 10, copy that out of 10 XML, go back to our Windows 11, paste it, replace. I'm going to close Deployment Workbench and reopen it. And now if I go into here, it has all those steps we just did for Windows 10, all in there. The difference is we're going to have to go up to our install operating system. All right, so install operating system, change this to Windows 11, and click apply. Good. Now it's Windows 11. Now, there's only a few little changes we make to Windows 11, and they're at the end. Okay? And what that is there's this sysprep fix, And we're going to go to Imaging, SysPrep Only, and in between these two, right? So after the Add Mass Storage, we're going to add two things. The first one is Allow Deployment in Special Profiles. So we're going to add a command line. I'm going to call that what it is, command, and you can copy this command, click Apply. I'm going to do Continue on Air. I always do like that. And the next one is a Fix SysPrep script, and I'll show you where we download that from. It's not very large, but it's in our scripts directory under Custom, and you can see this. It's to remove the OneDrive Sync client before we SysPrep, and you can see Jonathan Conway did that one. And let me see if I have that. I think, let me see where I had that. If I, down here maybe, here it is. Capturing Windows 11 with MDT, how I did it. And there is a, right here, see the comment by Jonathan Conway, Microsoft, right here. And let's go down to, here it is. So Jonathan Conway 3720 under this this tech, he said that Microsoft logged a support case of Microsoft, so hopefully the need to use this workaround will be removed. Well, it hasn't been removed yet, so you can copy this to that PS1 script. I called it Fix SysPrep, and there it is. Okay, so we're going to use that, and the way we're going to do that is add one more step in between. Run command line. We're going to call that Fix SysPrep Windows 11. Continue on error. Like that. Copy this, which will use the PowerShell command, execute bypass, file, script root, custom, Fix SysPrep PS1. Okay. Apply. And that's it in between those two. Okay. And that's our Windows 11. Real simple. Okay. And now we're going to do our servers. Okay. And a lot of these things will almost be close to, but we're not going to be able to copy it. But we're going to add a few things, and then we can copy from a task sequence to the other task sequence. Okay. And 2019 will be the first one we're due. We're gonna do one of each, so standard and standard, and then we can copy those to the data center version and just change what operating system is selected. Okay, so new task sequence. We're gonna call this. Let me see what I called. I'm trying to remember what I called them in my deployment task. DeploymentShare was under MDT, and I called them, here we go. So there we go, just like this. When served 2019 standard. So we'll just call Windows Server 2019 standard. That, I'm gonna click standard server task sequence, not client this time. Next. Server 2019 standard. Next. User lab. Do not specify. Okay, good. And then we're going to do another one. New task sequence. And I'm going to change this to 2.2. Windows Server 2022 standard. Server. There we go. 2022 standard. Boom. Do not specify. User lab. Next. Next. and there we go. Okay, so let's go to the 2019, and we'll open up our Windows 10 to the side here, just so we have it, and then we'll go to our server on this side, minimize that, and this way I'm going to open up a few things. So pre-install, install, post-install. Okay, and I'm going to grab this display system information, paste, and move it up one. Display the host name, set high performance, copy, paste. Okay, same thing here. We're going to disable BitLocker, no drivers, no patches. Same thing down here, no patches. Apply while that's doing that. Okay, so far the same thing, right? Now after the gather local only, we're going to go here to copy. I can minimize all these now. Just we want to focus on our state restore, right? So right here, paste. Here's high performance mode. Okay, and now remember how we set the services on our servers to shut down or to start auto or on demand. We're going to do the same thing here. Okay, so it's going to be pretty simple to do. We're going to say general, run command, and set bits service. Okay, and scconfig bits start equals auto. Okay, apply, continue on error, and we can copy this a couple times. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So copy, paste, paste, 4, 5, and now we can just go back here. The first one is bits, not bit, that's fine. The second one is going to be our DPS service, just like that. Okay, apply. Third one is going to be our UAL SVC, just like that. Apply. Next one is going to be our maps broker, but this is going to be on demand. So at maps broker start equals demand, like that, and next one is MSDTC, apply, MSDTC. Okay, so there's those. Now in our 2022 server, of course, we're going to add the Edge update service, but we're fine with that now. Okay, now after the opt-in, this is where we're going to disable driver searching like we did in the last one. So we're going to go down here. We can just copy that. So disable driver searching, paste. Okay, remove evaluation. Now this is different, right? This is for our servers. So let's make sure that we're using the right code, and we'll have to change that a little bit for each one, and that's okay. I think it was an operating system KMS keys. There we go. I have them all copied here. So what we'll do is we'll say run command line. We'll say disable evaluation, right? Or yeah, remove evaluation is fine too. Remove evaluation. Copy, paste. We're going to continue on error, but we're going to look at the KMS key. So this is 2019 standard, and it's N6 9G4. So that's correct one. Good. Click apply. And we'll change that line for each as it goes out. So when we do data center, when we do 2022. Okay. So there's 2019. We did that. After that, we're going to, of course, hold on one second. Yep. Move that down. There we go. And we're going to restart the machine after that. So restart computer. There it is. Then we're going to install the certificates. So where do we put those? Right up here. Okay. Restart to install certificates. Sync the time. The CVE. Enable roles and features, which is going to be .NET 3.5. We can't copy that because it's going to be per type. So we're going to have to grab here, go down to 2019, and 2022 uses the same one. So click Windows Server 2019. This is also going to be called Enable .NET Framework 3.5. We'll go down a little bit to here and check that. Okay, apply, continue on error, we're good. Now our C++ runtimes, install application, continue on error. I don't know why I'm doing that. Hold on one second. Let's remove that because I can just copy that. That's why I have it open. Okay, so there we go. Visual C++ runtimes. And because this is Server 2019, we have one more app we're going to have to install, which is our .NET Framework 4.8. Remember that? All right. So, install .NET Framework 4.8. Continue on air. Good. All right. And then we're going to copy the 5.0 and 6.0. Now we're going to enable roles and features here because we want to be able to use BitLocker on our servers, right? So we're going to go here to 2019 again. We're going to say, right here, we're going to say enable BitLocker drive encryption. Get rid of these extra E's that I put on there. Let's see, down to, keep going. Trying to remember, I think it's, here we go. BitLocker drive encryption, there it is. Okay, click apply, just like that. All right, then we're going to do PowerShell, which is over here. Copy. Then we're going to disable PowerShell 2.0 like we did on the other machines. So down to 2019, and let's look, I think it's way down here. So there it is, PowerShell 2.0 engine. Click apply. We'll say disable PowerShell 2.0. Make sure that O is that. Apply. Continue on error. Okay. Install CM Trace, which is here. Policy definitions. We don't put DirectX on there or RSAT tools, so we're going to say restart the machine. Good. And then we can suspend, add that suspend task for later on if we want. And I usually put that right underneath the install applications. Okay. But you can put that where you want. So there's suspend, and then we'll add underneath the Windows Update, we'll add another restart, like we did on the other one. Okay, so we've got restart computer here, and then our custom task, right? So we're going to set one more service because it only really works after you've installed updates. So we'll say paste in the custom settings, and this service is going to be the USO SVC service, just like that. Apply, that's fine. And then we're going to do the cleanup. Same thing. And deployment bunny script. Paste. Okay. So cleanup, reset image state. Paste. We're going to do BitLocker as well, of course. Paste. And let's see, what's this one say? Disable BitLocker, of course. Boom. Apply. So we've got cleanup, reset image state, BitLocker, and re-enable driver searching. Same thing, right underneath BitLocker. There we go. Apply. Okay, so our standard is done. And here's how we're going to do this. This is going to be easy now because we don't really change much. So let's go to our DeploymentShare, Capture, Control, Windows 2019 Standard, copy, go to 2022 Standard, paste those two files. We're going to reopen Deployment Workbench. We're going to go to 2022. We're going to go to Task Sequence. We're going to go to Install .NET Framework 4.8. And what you can do is disable that step. Okay, just like that. Go back up to, or down to, where it has Install Operating System. And make sure it's 2022 Standard. Okay, apply. Now, of course, we're going to look for our remove evaluation. And because this is 2022 Standard, KMS keys, we're going to look for 2022 Standard. There it is. Copy. Go right to here. Click paste. There we go. Apply. And that's pretty much it. That's all you have to change in the server ones. And now we're going to do our new task sequence. We're going to say win serve 2019 DC for data center, Windows Server 2019 data center. Standard server task sequence. Next, 2019 data center. Do not specify. User, lab. Do not specify. Next, next. Okay, and then one more. Win serve 2022 DC, Windows Server 2022 data center. Put this up. Standard server task sequence. Data center. User. Lab. Do not specify. Next. Next. Okay. And now we've got those two. And what we'll do is we'll close this. We can go to Server 2022 Standard. Go to DC. Paste those. Then go back to 2019 Standard. Go to Data Center. Paste those. And we only have to change a few things. So now we're going to go back in here. go to our data center task sequence, and we only have to change one thing in here, and that's our remove evaluation. Okay, so now we're using data center 2022, right? No, this is 2019, sorry. Data center 2019, just like that. Go over here and paste, apply, okay, and then 2022 data center, go back up here, copy this, remove evaluation, go to the H, paste, apply, okay, install operating system, browse, 2022 data center, apply, okay, and our 2019 data center, same thing, go to install operating system, browse, 2019 data center, and apply. Boom. We are done with our task sequence. Okay. Now let's go through and make sure that we typed everything correctly in here, right? So we know this one's right. Hide bat.vbs/b/no logo. So I'm going to copy this just to make sure I know I typed it correctly in these. All right. Just like that. CM trace log tool. There we go. DirectX. I know that this was just a /silent. That's perfect. DoD certificates. Just like that. Microsoft Edge was just an MSI. Perfect. Policy definitions. Same thing. PowerShell 7 had its own long command, which is fine. I'm going to put quotes around the MSI just for myself. I like everything to be the same, right? Apply. Remote server administration tools. Make sure that's good. Remove evaluation. That's good. Reset image state. Good. And Visual C++ runtimes. Good. Okay. Now, that should be good. We're going to right click here. We're going to click Update Deployment Share. Completely regenerate boot images. Next. Next. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'll pause it and come back as soon as that is done. And all right, we're getting there. It's on its way. So give it a few more moments, and I'll be right back. Okay, our capture boot WIM is ready. Click Finish. Let's just verify in our task sequences that we're installing the right operating systems. I'm just going to verify there. Remember, install Windows 10. Okay, let's go to the Windows 11 one. Install Windows 11. Good. Let's go to Servers. 2019 Data Center. Install 2019 Data Center. '19 Server Standard. Good. 2022 Data Center. Good. And 2022 Standard. Okay. I think we're good. Now we're going to open up our Windows Deployment Services. Servers. I'm going to go to Boot Images. Right click. Add boot image. Browse. We're going to go to our DeploymentShare. Capture Share. Boot. Light Touch WIM. Open. Next. I'm just going to call this Capture Task Sequences, because we're going to create another one as well for our deployment task sequences. Let that import. Good. There we go. Okay, everything's good. Now, before we do our first capture, I'm just going to do a quick restart, make sure everything is A-OK, and I'll come back when the login screen is there. All right, here we go. Good. Let's go log in. We'll check our services as well, just to make sure everything is good. Our DHCP, we'll look at that. We'll look at our deployment task. Okay, our scope is good. Servers, looks like the service has started. It's good. Boot image is there. Okay, that looks like we're ready to go. Now, we don't have our WSUS set up yet, but we're going to do a mock deployment, and that's okay. The reason why is I want to make sure everything is good to go. So I'm going to click New Virtual Machine, Custom, install the operating system later. I'm going to do Windows 10 and later, Microsoft. I'm going to do Windows 10 and x64. We'll do that first one. Okay. I'm going to choose BIOS for firmware just because this is our capture task. In our deployment task, we use UEFI. Okay. Just I've noticed that it prevents a few maybe errors or so, things. Number of processors 2 is fine. We're going to give it 4096 or 4 gigs of RAM. Next, next, next. NVMe, create a new virtual drive. 60 gigs is fine for our captured image. Next, next. Customize hardware. I'm going to remove that printer. Now, under USB controllers, make sure the share Bluetooth devices is unchecked, okay? We don't want any extra drivers in there. LAN segment, MDT lab, close, finish, okay? And then next, we're going to start, and F12, there we go, and boom, loading files. Okay, so it's on its way. And what I'll do is I'm going to do 2 of these at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to do the Windows 11 one as well. Next, next, Win 11 and x64. Same thing, BIOS, next, 4096, next, NVMe, virtual drive, store as a single file, customize hardware, printer, remove, USB controller, uncheck that share, NAT, MDT lab, close, finish. Okay. And I'll start that one up as well now that that one's already going. Okay. F12. There it goes. And boom. Okay. So our Windows 10 one, there's our custom background that I showed you in the last video. So everything's going. If we go to our MDT server and let's click on a deployment workbench just to make sure that our monitoring is working as well. Our DHCP, we should see 2 leases being used. So scope, address, leases, there they are, 100 and 101 so far. Good. All right. And monitoring, running, refresh. So as soon as the second one comes up, here's our first one, and this one's coming up as well. Okay, so this is our Windows 10. You can see our clients and servers. Windows 10, next. and it should just start because there's nothing else we have to give it except for the task sequence, because in our deployment share we actually set it to use that. There's our host name, just a simple blue background's fine, but we'll probably want to set the background to the one we uploaded, and that's fine. That's a little fix that we're going to do. Okay, but it shows you the make, model, and the serial number. Of course, serial numbers on VMs are very long, but if this were on a physical machine, you'd see the serial number and the host name, and then you'd see the processors, the RAM, you know, so that's good. Okay, Windows 11, same thing. Next, and like I said, the background that it's showing, we'll fix that in our extras file. And if I refresh this, look, there it is. It's running Windows 10, Windows 10, or 11. It's showing you the task it's completing. Refresh this. There we go. Okay. So yeah, things are working well. Let's go see what we're doing. It's pretty quick, right? Because you know, there's nothing really to install. Just injecting. It's kind of like a cab file, right? It's just extracting that cab file onto the machine, and then after that, it installs the software. Then it reboots, captures the image, and we'll be good to go. So while this is doing that, I'm going to click New Virtual Machine, and I'm going to create the rest of the ones that we're going to capture. Okay, so down here, 2019, I'm going to say WinServe 2K19 standard, like that. Same thing, BIOS to capture 4096. We're going to do these, of course, 2 at a time, and as soon as the 2 are done, we'll do the others. Create a new virtual, store as a single file, that's fine. Custom. Printer, remove. USB controllers, make sure this unchecked, that's good. LAN segment, boom. Okay, next. 2019, WinServe 2K22 standard. BIOS, next. 4096. Store as a single disk file. Customize hardware. Printer, remove. USB, good. LAN segment, MDT lab, close. And then now we're going to do our data center ones. Next, next. Same thing. WinServe 2K19 DC. BIOS. Move the printer. NAT. Good. And the last one. Sorry about that. There we go. WinServe 2K22 DC. BIOS 4096. Store as a virtual single file. Printer. NAT. And USBs. No USBs. Finish. Okay, so we've got all those set up. Let's look at our Windows 10, how it's doing. There, it's restarting. This one's going pretty quick, 97% there. Probably restart soon. Let's see here. While that's doing that, I'm going to pause this, go get a drink, and I'll come back. Okay. Everything's going right on. Here we go. Almost there. All right. Windows 10 is up, and of course it says searching display driver. It's not going to find anything. That's good. Okay, and as soon as the window comes up, there it goes. Gathering information. Here we go. And it's removing the evaluation. Perfect. See how we're doing over here. Okay, it removed the evaluation, it restarted. Good. Almost there with Windows 11. Boom. Okay. Nice. You don't have to touch it. I'm just going to move this so you can see the windows when they come up for that one. It's going to do the same thing. It's going to have, it's going to remove the evaluation and restart. Good. Yep, there it goes. Checking my phone here. There we go. Okay, there it goes with install root. As you can see, you're not seeing any batch windows because of our hidebat.vbs script. Everything's clean. You could also do a hide shell if you'd like, but for me, I like to watch the installation, make sure everything's good. There goes Windows 11 with its restart. I'm going to, so there's install root. It's going to install those certificates and then remove the desktop icon. As we saw in the batch file, excuse me, got the hiccups. Okay. And if we go here, we'll remember what applications we were running, right? So refresh, you can see Windows 10, 0 errors, 0 warnings so far, 0 errors, 0 warnings. Let's make sure everything's good. Okay, percent complete 58, current step, there we go. I heard Windows 11 there. Okay, it's coming back up after it reset the evaluation version. There goes our enabled .NET Framework 3.5. It's doing the same things. So what I'll do is I'll come back when it's fairly close to being done with the application installs. Okay. Visual C++ redistributables are installing. That's going good. All right. .NET Framework 6.0 is going good. There's 5.0 on the Windows 11. So it's getting there. So we're only going to capture Windows 10 and Windows 11 for right now. We'll actually delete those captures and recapture them because our next video, of course, is going to be our WSUS server. And that way, we can have these images be completely up to date. I just wanted to make sure that you could see that they're capturing, that everything's working well, and then we'll install the WSUS portion. As the image goes out, it'll be updated, then recaptured, and then we'll deploy those up-to-date images. Okay, so let's let this go, and I'll be back in a little bit. There goes CM Trace tool. It's coming along. Alright, policy definitions, then DirectX 9. Let's look at Windows 11 here. Yep, it's around about the same place, so getting there. As you can see, no windows in the background. Nice and quiet, nice and hidden. That's good. Here go our remote server administration tools. Right on. Alright, first restart after the RSAT tools. This one's almost done. Let's see what happens here. Make sure it gets to the area where it's capturing a WIM is what we're worried about, right? So I'll be right back in a little bit. Okay, that one's restarting. Let's see how Windows 11 is doing over here. That one's also restarting. Good, good. Okay. Now I'm going to do a little peek just to make sure our RSAT tool is installed well and other stuff while it's doing its thing. Just to check, you know, just for myself. Well, I might not even have time. It might be at the end of its installations. Yeah, this stuff is like crack. Major Melon, zero sugar, Mountain Dew. Ooh, tastes like watermelon. It's good. Let's see though. We can actually check. There's the Deployment Buddy script, so it is almost at the end. Here's our administrative tools. So look at that. They're all installed. Good, good, good. Okay. So that one's cleaning up, so might as well let it do its thing. This one's coming. It might restart again before it does its deployment bunny as well. Okay, there goes. Good job. So let me show you that deployment bunny. Here it is. So it's a action cleanup before sysprep. And let's go to the actual, here it is. So the original post was get rid of all junk before sysprep and capture when creating a reference image in MDT. And this was updated a long time ago, but it still works for Windows 10 and 11 and everything else, so might as well use it, right? So you just click on raw, save it, and yeah, that's where I got that one from. Johan helped with that, you know, so you can see his name right there. It is. See, there's Johan's name, the man. So yeah, it did its second restart there. Good. And there's Deployment Bunny script. So it's cleaning up that one as well. Once that's done, of course, it's going to do, let's go over here to see how this is working. So any errors? No warnings yet. Let's look at Windows 11. No errors or warnings yet. That's good. If I open up Windows 10 test sequence, so down here, we're right here. So we're at Deployment Bunny script, then it reset image state, BitLocker, it'll restart, re-enable driver searching, and then it'll do its sysprep and capture. Same thing with this one, except for right before it does its capture, we know it's going to do its allow deployment in special profiles and fix sysprep. Okay, so that's good. Go to about monitoring, make sure that's going well. 92 of 120. It says tells me Deployment Bunny script. Everything's running well. Okay. Yeah, no warnings, no errors. we're happy campers so far. So once this is done, we'll set up our. What we'll do is we'll delete that other that snapshot we made because we know everything's good. We'll create a new snapshot which we'll call before WSUS. We'll add our WSUS. I'll come back. I'll let it download its updates tonight. Come back tomorrow, and we'll do that third video tomorrow with the WSUS, and we'll capture all of the images, and then we'll deploy them with all the additional software. And as soon as that's done, we'll add our. So this might turn into 5 videos. So then we'll add our security stigs and things like that. So let me pause and I'll come back when this is at its capturing WIM stage. I thought about something I want to check just so I know. So I'm going to go here, go to Control, and I just want to verify that all the software is good and installed. So I'm going to move that up there for right now. Oh, well, we might not have time, but let's see. Programs and features. Look at that. Everything installed just great. Perfect. I can close this. It's doing its cleanup. Marvelous. Okay. So, there we go. Okay. And this one's at 53.9%. Okay. It's doing the rest of its thing. Yeah. Happy, happy, happy. See how this one went? Move that up there. Just to see. Programs and features. There we go. Everything looks like it installed well. Awesome. Yep. Perfect. There it goes. It's restarting, and that should be a good sign that it's going to start capturing the WIM. Let me go to here and see. Here's Windows 10. No errors, no warnings. No errors, no warnings on that one. Go back over here to Windows 10. See what it's doing. It might. I think it's going to its area where it's going to start doing its sysprep. Anybody else get excited about MDT? I do. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Yep. So we're back here after the cleanup. It did its restart like we were supposed to. I think she specifically said that too. So if you look at the deployment bunny thing here, if you look down here, yeah, see, you can see restart, then the action, then restart again. So that's what we did. Good stuff. Okay, restore user state after this should be the sysprep and capture. Automagic. Like I said, you can actually do the hide shell if you'd like, and not even just let it go. Just let it do its thing, and then it'll shut down the VM as soon as it's done, and you'll have a captured WIM, and then you can delete that VM, or you can keep that VM around just as your deployment VM, right? So you can just come later on, press F12, it'll wipe the drive, and 3 months down the road when you do that, it's up to you. There's our sysprep. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way so you can just see what's going on. There it goes. And this one looks like it's restarting after its cleanup, and it should start doing the same exact thing, right? So Refresh that, 93%. Look, it says executing sysprep on our Windows 10. Okay, so our Windows 11 is no errors, no warnings so far. Same thing. And yeah, happy, happy, happy. There it goes, restore user state like the other one did. And this is going to do those 2 extra steps like we showed. There's our system reserved. It always shows that when it does its sysprep. So that's good. Restore groups. There it goes. And then apply Windows PE. You'll see the 2 steps that we added should come up before it does its sysprep, which will be the allow special and that one drive removal. There goes the sysprep. Yay. Okay. And if we go to MDT here, they should both be at 93%. 0 errors. 0 warnings. Okay. Happy and happy. I'm just hoping I don't get the pink screen of death, right? That's what we worry about. But I think we did a good job of making sure everything was clean, making sure everything installed. I haven't seen any errors, any warnings, which tells me that things are going the right way. I don't think we'll have an issue with our server operating systems either, so I'm not even worried about doing a mock check. What we'll do is, like I said, we'll as soon as this is done, as soon as I get to at least 2% on the capture WIM, I'll pause, come back when it's at 99%, right before it's about to shut down. I'll show you the captured WIMs, and then we'll set up, like I said, we'll set up our WSUS server, and then I'll let that go overnight. We'll come back tomorrow, and we'll set up our real images, captured images that are up to date, because 2019 is going to have to be up to date anyway, because it has to have full updates before it can install like things like .NET Framework 4.8 or other things. So let's go over here. Oh, look at that. Where are we at? Windows 10. Create WIM. Happy, happy, happy. Okay, like I said, we'll wait until that's at like 2% just to make sure. I'll go to MDT, see where it's at. There it is, create WIM, no errors, no warnings. This one says executing sysprep. Refresh, you can refresh and see where it's at. Okay. Windows 11 coming up. Look at that. Create WIM, 1% so far. I always wait till it says 2% because then I know it's got past that initial hiccup, right? Create WIM. There's our Windows 11. Come on, baby. Refresh. They're both at 97%, which is awesome. Okay. 119 of 122. There's our 2% for our Windows 10. Okay, and we'll just wait for the 2% for Windows 11, and then I'll pause, and then come back at, like I said, 98, 99%. And, yeah. %. Like I said, we always wait for that 2%. Come on, baby. Ooh, we're already at 5 on the 10. 5 on the 10, right? Okay. Come on, 2%. You got this. There it goes. All right, I'm going to pause and come back when we're at 98, 99%, okay? You know why we're excited? That's right. All right, we're at 98% on the Windows 10 image. And let's see how we're doing over here. 84% on our Windows 11 image. 99. It's getting there. %. Okay. It should shut down. Hopefully we don't have, okay, that's perfect. There it goes. I can actually delete this one. Go over here. Let's go check on this. And this is 100%. No errors, no warnings. Let's go check our log files. Make sure that they were deposited here. There's our Win10 x64. There are all our log files. Perfect. Everything is coming up aces. Millhouse. We're at 97% for our Windows 11 here. 99. 100. That one should shut down as well. There we go. And no pink screen of death. We can go manage, delete from disk. Good. Go over here, right click, refresh. There's our Windows 11. No errors, no warnings. Let's go over to the capture share. Make sure that the log files for those are there. There it is. Boom. And everything is good. Okay. Perfect. All right. So, now that that's out of the way, I'm going to pause this here, and then we'll come back and do our setup for our WSS. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to shut this down for right now. Okay. Other planned, that's fine. What we're going to do is we're going to remove that old snapshot because we know we're good. And we'll create a new one, and we'll just call it before WSS. Sound good? Good. Okay, so Snapshot Manager. Click on that one, click Delete. Almost there. Cleaning up. So what we can do, we could set up SQL Server on there, but I'm just going to use the built-in WDS or the WID, the Windows implementation of a database. So we'll just use that. If you're going to do large environments, you'll want to use a full SQL implementation, or even SQL Express, and that's fine too. But for right now, for this lab environment, we're just going to use the WID. Okay, so we've deleted that snapshot, and now we're going to create a new one. We'll call this before WSUS. Take a snapshot, and there we go. Let's start her back up.